A very good afternoon to you. This is Business on the News. Now, President Nana Addo Akufo-Addo is expected to have a lot on his table as he begins work from the Flagstaff House. This was after he was sworn in as the fifth president of the Fourth Republic last Saturday. But what are some of the critical economic issues that he has to deal with from this morning? George Yafi tells us more.
One of the major issues that will be on Nanado's table when he gets into the Flagstaff House this morning is how to deal with the current power crisis, which some experts say is actually not over, especially when it has been argued that the challenge facing the sector is more of a funding problem rather than a technical issue. Therefore, the concern here is how will the Nanado government raise the necessary funds to address this, looking at the current revenue squeeze facing the economy. There are also numerous challenges on the labor front, like the recent review in the minimum wage and base pay, as well as some of the areas government might have to clear in that sector. Again, how the incoming administration makes sure they'll be able to raise the necessary funds to deal with all these issues. Some industries in the last quarter of 2016 told Joy Business that they are planning to carry out another round of layoffs in the first quarter of 2017 because of the challenging business environment. Already, GTP and Pioneer Food Cannery have asked about 400 workers to go home. Again, how would Nanaado convince these firms to hold on with these planned layoffs? Because this government is planning to institute measures to deal with the difficult business environment. It has also been rumored that the country might not be able to meet its over 30 billion cedis revenue target for 2016. This might have some serious implications for the new administration when it comes to meeting expenditure obligations for the first quarter of this year. This is because the new administration might have to depend on the last quarter revenue to fund their operations for the first quarter of 2017. But what measures is government then planning to institute to deal with this expected revenue shortfalls following the NDP's promise to remove some taxes? Many economists will also be looking forward to see how the new administration will deal with the city's stability, as promised in his manifesto. Already the city is still yet to recover from its shocks last year. One can also not forget about the IMF program that the new administration is working to engage the fund to review some aspects. But the question is, how should it go about this review not to send wrong signals to investors and donors out there?
And meanwhile, economist Professor Felix Asante tells Joy Business, despite predictions by the IMF and the World Bank of a strong economic growth for the year, there are still some real tough times ahead.
I mean, I'm just even hoping that January salaries will even be paid on time, because you see, if you follow the issues of the Article 71 office holders payments and other things, and if all these payments are going to be made, then a huge amount of resources are going to go out of government coffers, and that is going to be a big challenge for the incoming government.
And how does he get around that, some would say? Because the argument was that, listen, these monies have been budgeted for on an annual basis. Government should be doing almost like 40 million Ghana cedis. The whole budget for compensation for workers is not more than 10 billion Ghana cedis. This is something that the economy can absorb. This is something that the budget can absorb. So it's more of much ado about nothing. That is what is out there.
I mean, that is what the budget can absorb. But were we able to achieve those revenue targets that we are saying that the budget will be able to absorb? Those are the questions that we should be asking. I mean, we need to mobilize resources, okay? And one would think the easiest is to increase tax, but I'm hoping that we don't come with new tax rules or regulations. We should be innovative and find ways of raising revenue. And and if that will work, I think the private sector and the business should be used as the engine to propel this. I mean, looking at the business environment, the number of days to set up a business and all that. I mean, when you look at the 2017 doing business ranking, I mean, Ghana is not, we were overtaken by Mauritius, Rwanda, Kenya, South Africa. Yes. And if we want the economy to work, we need to improve upon the business environment.
And that's it for now. There will be more business ahead on the marketplace shortly at 1 p.m. My name is Emmanuel Abuaji Riafi. Coming up next is sports.